This is cool. Good morning, everyone. This is Gavin. Thank you so much for checking me out. So today I got Brittney Elkin. So Brittney, thanks for being here with me.
Thank you. Good morning.
I hope you guys can hear me. We're doing it at like not a closed off place. We're doing it actually at the Source in Rhino, which is a really cool place. If you've not been down there, you guys should come check it out. Anyways, for those of you that have not seen these videos yet, I basically post these. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to we'll just make adjustments as we go here. Okay. That's what's awesome about Facebook Live. If you've not seen these, the goal of these is just to provide positivity and good energy and interview really good people. So I ran into Brittney last week, and I just said, "Hey, how's things going?" And she just said, "I'm really happy," and it was just so genuine and just so real that it just kind of resonated with me. And so I said, "Hey, crazy idea. Would you do this interview with me?" And she said yes. And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And so I'll let her give a little background on herself, and you'll realize really quickly why I'm a little nervous as well as excited that she was willing to share with me. So I'll let you go ahead. Tell us about you and all your great stuff you got going on.
All right, cool. Well, hi, my name's Britt. Thank you, Gavin, for having me on. And this place is really cool. Come check out the Source. My name is Brittney. I live in Denver, Colorado. I bartend and I work for Fight to Win Promotions. I have been trying to build a career in professional fighting and professional jiu-jitsu and just anything that's competition at my best, highest rate for years, and it's finally all coming together, and it's built me the best life I could ever envision or dream of. And yeah, just like Gavin just said, I'm really happy. I'm a mom who is nervous right now too, because I don't know why. But I just took 2 Pan Am gold medals, and it's a huge accomplishment, and I'm really proud how my life has come together. And yeah, I just can't say enough of how thankful I am. So.
That's awesome. Like literally Pan Am gold. There's 2 of them just sitting right here on the table that she brought, and I mean, again, it's so cool. So I'm actually going to scoot the camera closer. I'm a little worried about the audio, so I'm just going to come a little closer.
Okay, cool.
And I'll let it kind of be focused on you, and that way we can hear you a little more clear. So tell me why, like what drives you? What are your whys? What are the things that get you rolling in the morning?
I just remember that I was once a person that I didn't like, and I really went backwards every morning. Like I just continued on this thing. Like it was in a young stage in my life, but I just always kind of remember that person, and I kind of want to run as far away from that person as I can. When I felt what it was like to actually wake up and be like, wow, I can just be better than yesterday, and move forward towards that. I really did literally run from that identity that I used to be, and try to just anything that made it a better day, just went and grabbed that. And it's made me grow as a person. I don't really remember that sad person anymore. I just wow, this thing's next, and wow, this thing's next. And before it used to be whatever, guys, and if you knew me from my past and saw this now, it's 2 different people. And I love this identity more, so I identify with this person more, and I just keep running towards that. So my whys are just to never forget that it can be really bad, and it can be really good. And those little simple memes or pictures or anything that you see on the internet, it's which side do you choose? And I've chosen this one for a while, and now it's just panned out well. So
it's awesome.
Other than my kid and being the best version of myself for my kid, so he identifies with that character and always feels comfortable and says what would my mom do or something like that. That is another why. So I just always want to be wow, my mom did this, really cool, and have my son be proud of that, so that when he's an adult and he's in a place, he can find pride in that, and then he can go forward. That's another thing. And then I've built some awesome relationships, and I want to keep building them. And I find that in happiness, people are attracted to what they see, and that is another why. I want to keep growing, and when you grow, people around you grow, and it's so simple, and I don't know. So
it's awesome.
sorry.
No, those are all excellent.
So yeah.
basically be a role model for those around you. Build the building blocks to help others grow and work off of, and you know, don't let your past experiences hold you back.
Totally.
Learn and grow from them, right? So I think you said that perfectly.
Okay, cool. I get nervous on these live videos.
No,
usually I have time to write all these interview questions out. So
writing it out is not, it's not real, right?
Right.
So like then it's like you feel like you're saying something that you've already thought of versus it just being, you know, genuine. Yeah, completely genuine. So the thing I'm most worried about is the audio. So I hope the audio is coming through okay.
Oh yeah,
so,
we need to get you a better mic. Huh?
I know, I need to.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm still super low tech, but we'll get there.
Totally kidding.
So I just know how important the challenges I've faced in my life, how much they've built me and kind of given me direction. So what challenges have you gone through that? Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. But what challenges have you gone through that you know you learned so much from and just really grew from?
You know, that's like a really big question because my whole life before it started to turn happiness was a challenge because I made it that way. You know, like those pictures of like two paths. I always pick that rocky path, and so it shows in my scars. It shows in you know, my eyebrows when I'm stern, my resting bitch face or whatever. It shows in my how I go towards something like that. So my challenges that really started me is when I was a kid, I chose a lot of drug use when I was like young, and overcoming that, that was way before fighting, way before when I found good in my life, and that was like a big overcoming at a young age that I always like, oh, I felt guilty that I did this and I could never let it go. So letting that guiltiness go of like how I treated my family when I was in those stages of misguided youth or whatever, the guilt that carried into my adulthood when I had my own child and how I loved my kid and how I could do that to my mom, that was like something I just, it took me a long time to let go. But now it's like, man, I used to be this person. I've almost, you know, put myself to a death point at a few times, and now I just, you know, I would never let go in another way. I'm like, I'm grabbing at the good life, you know. So it's definitely weird how it takes you back, but then motivates you to go forward. Right. You know, like those challenges. That and injury is an athlete's biggest challenge. Right. You know, because I think that an athlete really identifies with what they do because, you know, passion and everything like that. So when you get an injury like a knee surgery or anything like that, your identity gets crippled in a way. You know, like when you go out and talk to somebody, you're not as like super excited because you're not doing what you love. And so challenges through injury and continuing, because in a way my therapy is what I do. You know. So the challenges get like make you that person, drug use, whatever, you know, the bad relationships with your parents that you developed over these things, and regrowing back into that has motivated me into being this like striving person to grab hold and like be a good thing instead of like a bad thing with my energy. So yeah,
it's like if you let the if you let the negative past that's happened to you kind of control you, that becomes your mindset, right? We all have that choice to change our mindset and live inside what we want to live inside, and that's pretty awesome.
I did that for so long because like I ruined relationships with my parents and everything when I was doing that, and I don't know, like getting that back, like I was a shithead, you know what I mean? And then like becoming a new person is the most challenging thing in the world. When you recognize, you know, maybe you're an overeater. I've been that, you know, like when I'm healing on something, I've definitely put on some pounds. And that challenge alone, you know, you have to recognize this is my problem. I got to be a new person. I develop completely new lifestyle habits, you know, whatever that is. Drug use, fat use, whatever. You know, you know, I've been that person. You know, I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, but, no, I totally know what you mean.
Whatever you're doing, you have to let go of that person.
Yeah, absolutely. You read or listen to anything that kind of motivates you, or?
I was thinking about this, and I don't read books.
Okay, that's perfect.
I've read books. You know, it's not like I sit there and like just no books, but I read articles about people that I recognize are really like doing something I want to know more about. How are they doing it? Like, how can I apply that? And then I read articles about my friends and try to keep updated about their greatness. And then just like, wow, that friend's doing great. Like, and then, I mean, I read all those stupid memes for a second and try to like sit there and close my eyes and think, well, does this apply to me or something? And then like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to go off that feeling. Because I do get punched in the face and I do get like choked out.
Like,
and, like
yeah, which is crazy.
So I sit there and I'm like, am I in the right place? And I don't even have to question that anymore. I know I'm in the right place. But at the times and points in my life when I'm like, I'm working 2 jobs and then I'm going after work and getting punched in the face and waking up at 4 in the morning and doing sprints and what am I doing? You know.
Right.
Now it's come together where it's like, so glad that I did that. You know. And yeah.
That's cool.
If I'm reading anything, it's trying to read about the people that I want to be surrounded by, you know, like, or read, and like, yeah, like, Valentino was here for the UFC, and they gave a couple of brief stories about her background. I'm just like, wow, that's really relatable, and she's from another country, you know, and like all these things and how she built her background, and then I like, you know, was like, wow, that's really cool. And however you can apply that good feeling that she did it into your own and be happy for her, and then like it brings out the best in yourself.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, you said it perfect. Read about the people or the stuff that people are putting out that you want to be surrounded by. Like, you know, they always say bring up your average, right? But be around the people that you want to be surrounded by. That's excellent. So any quotes, mantras, sayings that every day just stick with you?
I do have a couple. One, I don't know who said them all, and they're definitely quoted. Yeah. I did not say them, but one coach, you know, when you go into these huge tournaments and stuff a while back, and I've said this for a long time in my career, is that you're not facing the best in the world. You're facing the best that showed up that day. It's you know, you can sit there and get in your head and you can sit there and think, I'm going against the best in the world, I'm getting really tense and this is nervousing me out, and you can fight yourself more than you're fighting that, you know. But when you put it into context and you're just like, they gotta be, you know, showing up, they better have their coffee, they better have this, you know, and whoever showed up that day, 5 of them showed up that day in one of my brackets from all over the world. What if all the best showed up that day? Then I am facing the best in the world, or whatever, you know. So that one is a huge one that I say to myself before every competition, you know, and then I always say, because I've been hurt very badly, and pain is really temporary, but if you give up, it's forever. And you know, like, you can sit there and what if I get hurt? I've had my nose broke so many times, and it does hurt. Like, I'm not gonna like tell you that it doesn't hurt, but the times when in my very early stages, when I like was in just a grappling match and I was just defeated because somebody got the points over me and I just stopped, I still don't forget that, you know. And you know, pain is definitely a reminder. So
say that one more time. Pain's temporary, but what is?
Unless you give up, then it's
unless
forever.
you give up. Okay, that's awesome.
And I've said that since I almost lost my eyeball. You know, I almost lost my eyeball, and one of my fights, thumb went all the way in and all the way out of my eye, and it's like one of my most memorable fights. And I was just like, I'm done with MMA, I'm done with fighting, fuck you, you know. And I was so upset, and I like had to look in the mirror for 8 weeks of recovery, you know. And I was so mad, and then like when I finally recovered and I was still mad at MMA, like I blamed the sport or something for my injury or something like that. And I just had to remember that I was giving up, and that's why I was really mad. And, and then I went back to it. I've never been happy, you know.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Well, I'll scoot it back just a little bit, just so you guys can see my mug, which is not the most impressive. But thank you again.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So appreciate it. Like, just thanks for being like just positive. Just focused on everyone. I just feel like everyone you come across, you're always positive. You always have a good attitude. So thank you for that. So
thank you guys.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Have a really good day.
Thank you guys.
Talk to you soon.